Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Fratello Talks. I'm your host Nacho, and today I'm joined by
Thomas
and
Lex.
and we are going to be reminiscing a little bit about some manufacturer visits in Switzerland. It's the middle of the summer, or at least it
when
feels
they're all
like
closed.
it. And they're all closed, so we've snuck in for an exclusive look. No, but we're going to be talking about it because we feel that it's something. It came up in a discussion where we feel that it's something that we've written articles about, we've shown photography of it, but it's something where really the experience of visiting a manufacturer, there's a lot more to it, and we felt that it would be a good topic to put across on this format as well. Yep. But before we do that, of course, let's get into wrist check. Thomas, what is on your wrist?
I'm back to my normal behavior with the VPC Type 37 HW.
Lovely. That means you're not doing any hands-on reviews this week.
No, it's opinion piece week for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. So VPC
And
back
Sunday
on the
morning
wrist.
showdown.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Busy.
Perfect. Have we put? I don't think we've put the Type 37 HW on the chopping block for Sunday morning showdown yet, right?
Oh, but that wouldn't be fair to any other. You would get murdered.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect. So Lex, what about you? What is on your wrist?
My replica Speedmaster, the broad arrow, also known as the relaunch. RJ knows the reference number by heart. I don't.
But he's on his way up to Denmark as we speak on holiday.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
but it's a real replica.
It's a real replica.
Not a lot of watches can say that.
Not a lot of watches can say that.
Perfect.
And I wear it on the Serica rubber strap.
Yeah, the sports strap from
Serica.
in sage green.
Yeah, and it's just
It matches your pants, both of you.
Yeah. Well,
matchy.
Matchy.
Perfect.
So I'm very happy about this combination.
Hey, perfect. When you find what works, then you might as well stick to it.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing something that nobody's noticed yet today, but I've spoken about on the podcast several times. This is the Aquastar Airstar chronograph in stainless steel.
Shiny stainless steel.
It's very shiny. The bezel is polished steel, but I really like it. I've been kind of waxing poetic about this one on several of our lists. I believe watches under whatever price point and best chronographs of the year. I think that this one also
I pretended to know what you were talking about, but now I see.
Now you know it's here.
Good.
It's here. It's a real watch. I requested this one just for a little bit of hands-on time with it and potentially putting a review together. But yeah, so far it's it is. It's very. But I like it. It has that sort of mid-century skin diver, very squared off lugs and that kind of thing. And so far it hasn't disappointed. I love the very matte dial with the contrasting subdials, and there's a lot to like about this one, I feel.
Looks good size.
Cool. So let's jump into the topic. We can maybe start with you, Lex. What were some of your first impressions when visiting a manufacturer?
A watch manufacturer. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Sorry. I can tell you about the last one I visited. No, but it is super impressive. I have to be very honest. I can't remember the first right. manufacturer I visited. It could have been Gégé Lecoultre in Le Sentier, which is a very good spot to start because La Grande Maison is it's a very impressive place that they continue to expand. Mm-hmm. I think it was that, and now everything they put all the different aspects of watchmaking under one roof, and then it was a little bit of a scatter thingy. There was one place where they did the metal cutting, and there was a little separate cottage where someone was doing enameling. So my first impression was, my God, it takes a lot of work to get to something. Something that starts almost very crude.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then comes down and then it kind of gets more and more refined as the process develops and continues. And especially then at Gégé, you have everything more or less in-house. So you see the how they make the parts, how from the metal rods, and the smell of oil because every manufacturer smells, well, at least in that section, everything smells of oil, where the CNC machines and stuff. But also there, they still have the old machines that they every now and again break out to make something. Also because they do they have a special department where they do the vintage pieces.
Right. If they're restoring, they will retroactively manufacture parts.
Yeah, exactly. So they have everything there, and they can just get it out and find the expert to handle the machines. So yeah, that is a super impressive manufacturer. Also because there is all the watch stuff, and then all of a sudden you're in the Atmos laboratory, more like a laboratory, because it's completely silent, and you have all these clocks standing there completely. It's a fantastic. I thought it was a fantastic experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite overwhelming.
Yeah,
because there's a lot happening. Lot happening.
For sure.
Especially at JLC, because they have this. I've been there as well, and. Because they're so big, I think it's 11 kilometers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, of total production.
Oh yeah, there could be
line basically.
Right.
So when you do a tour there, they have themes where you get to look at a small percentage of things based on the theme that they've selected for that moment. So I haven't seen the Atmos room, for instance.
Okay.
But I've seen a couple other things. I was overwhelmed there by the sheer number of people working on it.
Yeah.
It's also how labor intensive it is.
Yeah.
You have this vision of a modern factory, I think largely fed by, for instance, car factories where everything is on robots and conveyor belts and everything. That's not what a high-end manufacturer looks like. Everything is done by hand, and even when it's machine
supervised by hand,
when it's machine work, it's still super involved. You still need a lot of training to be able to do it. I really came away quite impressed there. Like, okay, then this is something else. This is and also the little bit of local flavor that you get. I mean, all these watch brands.
You mean the honey you get at the end of the visit, the little pot of honey from Le Sentier, from the bees that are in front of the manufacturer.
Yeah, proper local flavor,
No, but I think there's in this branding that watch brands do, there's a lot of couleur locale, with the town name in the brand. Pictures of the valley and what have you. Yeah. And it always felt to me like, sure, you're in the valley, of course. But then when you're there, you actually see these buildings tend to be glass only. And all these manufacturing rooms basically have giant windows looking straight onto green hills and mountains and little Swiss towns. And it's really quite rustic and romantic. And you really do get that feeling like, okay, so these are people living here, doing the work in an environment that's completely infused with. So I suddenly sort of understood, like, so this is why they're so.
And they have a very prominent place in the community. Yeah. So you really feel that, especially in the Vallée du Joux, that everything is watchmaking. Yeah. Everything is even the supermarket caters to people who work in the watchmaking industry. Everything is watchmaking there. It's that's impressive. And the sad thing is that it's so very difficult to. You can tell the story, and this is a storytelling universe, but you really have to experience yourself. Yeah. You have to smell the oil. You have to talk to the watchmakers. Yeah. You have to put on
the shoe cots. The shoe cots with the machine, or you put your toe in and then you kind of kick forward, and suddenly your foot is inside of a hairnet. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then there's a lot of these things that sort of they seem a little bit. You don't really mention it in the article because you talk about the craftsmanship and things that are going on. But it is truly fascinating to walk in from one side and see stacks of raw materials where you go, they could be making just about anything here. You see like full on like meters long rods of brass and different metals that are then being, fed into the machine from the very beginning. And you know that whatever that part's going to take some sort of path down that 11-kilometer stretch, and it's going to come out the other side either,
they're going to create like a tiny
microns.
Exactly.
And it's really crazy to see also how there's a lot of it that so two things. One of it, it's how some of the machinery truly is still very old. It's still like some of the machines used for
machine.
Those, for example, but even the ones that stamp out parts, like I remember in the Zenith manufacturer, they were showing us how they would do these sort of like die stamping process for different parts, and it was really just it feels very rudimentary, but then the end result comes out as being this really specific and refined piece that will then play its role within the movement. And then the other thing is how at like different scales, right? Like you visit a very small manufacturer, and in essence, you see the exact same things. It's very much like, that's this. More it's just a little smaller, and to some degree, I mean, obviously, you're not going to have an enamel. Section at the when you're visiting the Yema manufacturer or something, right? Or when you're at Nomos, they're it's a little bit smaller and a little bit cozier than like a huge like Tudor's brand new manufacturer. But at the same time, you sort of recognize, you go, the methods are
they're
roughly
similar.
the same.
They come from the same background. But it's interesting. I think it's also for us, it's important to every once in a while realize how labor intensive it is. What Thomas said, how that the human touch is so incredibly important. And what is also quite interesting is that now the FHH, the Fondation Horlogerie, they're starting a new campaign, which is also very much about the awareness of watchmaking and getting people into watchmaking to fully understand how everything works, etc., etc. And it's also, I see it almost as a like a countermeasure about the shallow stuff you see on Instagram. So there is people who are into watches, but they want to turn people into watchmaking, because watches is a watch is a watch, and then what? Yeah. But their goal is to tell about the culture, tell about the technique, etc., which is, I think, very important. And I think it's also a role for us. And what was also interesting is that, because I asked a few questions, and the FHH is founded by Audemars, Gérard Perregaux, Richemont is involved, Cartier is involved. So I asked about how modern consumers look at watchmaking and watches, but apparently you can now, at different brands, you can book a manufacturer tour.
Yeah, exactly. That's
super interesting.
As a consumer, not just
as a consumer. And you can do that at AP. The problem is they have so much people wanting to come that there's not just a waiting line for the. There's not
at the boutique. Yeah,
exactly.
It's
so it's
boutique,
also for
but
that.
also the manufacturer, right?
Which, by the way, Audemars Piguet is also incredibly impressive to see in reality
from the JLC one.
And you can just walk around that valley, and then you can also go to l'Abbaye to see Breguet and how they do the guillochage with the old machines. And the thing is, not everybody will have the opportunity to travel to Switzerland or what about Glashütte and visit a manufacturer. But if you can, I think if you're into watches, maybe you should also try and invest in doing at least one little trip.
Absolutely.
You won't get into the Rolex facilities, but there are brands that are that are open to also because it's in their interest. To educate people,
it goes a long way to sort of counter the sentiment you see online mainly, where it's like Swiss watches are all overpriced and you can get the same specs for a lot less. But it's a totally different thing. And
it's a completely different thing.
It's different priorities as well. It's fine if you say I'm not interested in that and I don't care for that, so I'm not going to pay for it. It's all fine. It's everyone's prerogative. But there is a reason for it, and there's stuff going on. And if you get to visit these places, you see it a lot better, and you understand it, and you respect it a bit more, and it comes to life. I think
it comes real. You see the real human beings that spend their days, like hunched over the desk with a screwdriver, and
that in itself is almost.
It's unbelievable that there are people that every single day they clock in. They sit there and they're doing their single individual or several individual tasks that contribute ultimately to this product existing, and it makes it a lot harder to just dismiss something purely based on this is silly or this is too expensive or this is whatever. Like it sort of really gives you that reality check that this is true craftsmanship that's still
not
taking
saying
place
that no
today.
money is made, of course. I mean, obviously, but
no, of course.
But I had that most when I was at Vacheron Constantin, and I got to visit the métier d'art.
Yeah,
and there was that's so impressive because there's this guy basically creating replicas of famous paintings on watch dials.
Oh yeah.
With a brush that's a single hair thick or thin. And he's just hunched over, working through a microscope, and he spends weeks on a single dial, layer by layer, then firing it, going back layer by layer. I got to look through that microscope, and it was already dizzying after 2 seconds. He spends weeks every day. He comes in back to that same dial. One guy in this entire manufacturer doing that, and it's mind-boggling. If you
and you see people like this, but you also see people in the sort of the T2, T3 or whatever, who are like basically just putting the bracelet on, checking that the clasp works, and then doing that with a big box of watches. It's really interesting. It truly is like sensory overload.
Yeah, it is.
But in a very interesting way. I'm never not surprised at how open brands are, just how much they show you. There are certainly things where they'll go, and we're going to take your phones and cameras for this next part, and or like don't take pictures over there or whatever that might be. But at the same time,
that's a big one.
Of course,
protective of their trained staff, so they don't want them.
Absolutely.
Some of the machinery. Yeah. It's and the interesting thing is I was at Greubel once, and recently I was at Tissot. Well, that's complete opposites. But I was incredibly impressed at Greubel because, what the hell are they making over there? That's just insane. But at the same time, when I looked at how Tissot produces the new, what's it called? The PRC? No, what's
PRC?
it?
Solar?
The solar, the new solar watch.
PSR? PRC?
PSR? PSR, yeah.
3 letters.
Sorry,
solar.
Tissot, the new relatively the affordable new solar powered Tissot. It was also impressive because they created a special space in the manufacture where people walked around dressed like astronauts, there's a lot of.
It's usually only at Omega.
True, exactly. But it's still a lot of human interaction with the different parts and the checking and everything, and then you see the humongous robotized warehouse where they ship, where they handle 3 million watches a year. So sometimes it's also just. So you have people doing all this stuff, and at the same time you have these robots, you have these huge numbers, but at the end also stuff gets checked one by one. Super impressive.
I recently got a chance to take a peek into the 321 Atelier at Omega, And the reason why that
Interesting.
was quite impressive is also because it's pretty small. It's a small operation, and you sort of go, yeah, no wonder that they're outputting
true.
the
Yeah,
321s. You're more impressed at how many they managed to get out there actually,
so
rather
little
than
people.
with such a small amount of people. And at the same time, all the processes at the same time, it looks very similar to what you see everywhere else, right? But it's just these specialized team that are dedicated to this one section. And another thing I always enjoy is whenever there's I think I've seen Tudors and I've seen Omegas, the Metas testing lab.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible. That's like
Like a special room inside.
that's like
the
walking into NASA. It's like walking into a NASA lab because you have these machines where you go, this is a gigantic magnet that's testing them for the magnetic resistance, and then they have the place where they test for water resistance as well. And you see real watches that will be eventually sold to people being sort of dipped in because they all have to pass the test.
Yeah, they
so
all
it's
have
this incredible thing where it becomes real. All
Yeah.
these things you read about, all these things that we often put into words, you see it for real. And I think the point you were raising before is a very valid one. It's if you are interested, and of course we know that our audience is primarily over in the States or all over the world, and
that
Switzerland
makes it
is a small
difficult, of
part of
course.
Europe. But if you're lucky enough to be visiting Europe or to be around Europe or to live in Europe, or Germany where you can head to Glashütte, it's worth informing yourself as to what possibilities there are because
definitely.
for the price of what could be your next watch, whether you need a next watch or not. Could be argued, but at the same time, you could spend that money in giving yourself this experience of seeing where your watch is being made for roughly the same price, probably less actually, and then have some great fondue afterwards.
Oh yeah, fondue.
Yeah, see the Alps. It's great.
When you said something about that, the relative smallness of the 321 atelier, and that there's just a few people working there. I visited Richard Mille once, which was super impressive.
How was he doing?
Well, he threw a watch at me. Yeah, we were at the manufacture, and it was in the early days of there was the first Nadal watches, and they were of course crafted to be very shock resistant. And we were there in a small group, and he just threw it. So you're trying to get, we caught it. So all
that's good.
But there was also what was I thought was even more interesting. There was a workbench and nobody was working there. And then Richard Mille said, so here we have a watchmaker normally that he's the only one who can create. I think it was a rattrapante tourbillon.
Okay,
but he also has a dangerous hobby. He was some martial. He rides a motorbike and he does martial arts, and he broke his arm. So now we can't produce this watch. So that also shows that. Also at Gégère, there was a period in time where they did the 101, the smallest mechanical movement in the world. That was not in the production schedule, and they had one woman who could make it. But also for her, it was quite a challenging task, and she only did it when she felt like it.
Amazing.
But those are the stories that I like.
Incredible.
That I like.
Yeah.
We can't do you can't get a rattrapante because our watchmaker broke his arm. No, you can't get this bejeweled creation because our watchmaker didn't feel like it for a while. Yeah. I think that's super
incredible.
Cool. And you have
incredible.
That.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's how industrially impressive and the scale can be equal parts impressive by how huge it is and how industrialized and how high tech it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is that part that kind of roots it all in the tradition from where it comes from, and it's this sort of like. In the end, just people cutting metal and turning it into watches.
And,
right?
and then you see how a tiny piece a component gets black polished.
Yeah.
And how incredibly difficult it is to do, and that you have to use a certain pressure, and then it's amazing how all these tiny things.
Hang on. Is it recording now? Okay, so just start off from black polishing.
So when you look at the
no, black, it's still not. Is it good now? If you speak, Lex?
Can I speak? Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was at Roger Dubuis where they have someone who is an expert in black polishing.
Right.
So he knows exactly the right pressure and and so you have these specialists, these craftsmen.
Yeah.
Craftspeople.
Craftspeople. Yes.
Artisanally skilled human
Individuals.
beings.
Yes.
No, but
it's really
Like you
incredible.
with the pen.
Oh, guys, come on. No, but yeah, I think that's the major thing. There's also like some of these idiosyncrasies that we've spoken about, like the fact that it does in a lot of the areas smell like oil. It smells like whatever coolant and lubricants they're using in the process.
It's also quiet.
It's relatively
There's
quiet.
a very interesting work culture there. I always find that the watchmakers among each other tend to be very amicable and joking around and what have you. But when they're working, it's deadly quiet.
Yeah. The only thing is you might see some with like their AirPods or something but it's just it's completely concentrated work and a lot of Crocs.
Yeah.
A lot of Crocs. A lot of people wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
And
that's right. That's why they cover them up with.
But it's funny. They're walking around in like the shoes you might wear around your house. It's funny. It's also you have to be comfortable in order to do this, and also in our case a lot of the time because we are dirty outsiders. We are subjected to basically cloaking yourselves, and it's always a fun thing when you're with a group of people and you see everybody with the hairnets on and the white robes and the shoe covers and everything, and you have to walk over a sticky floor through one door out the next like an airlock and everything, and you think it truly is like like a single hair, a single stray piece of dust could ruin somebody's day in there. It's
the worst thing that happens, I always feel, when you're in a manufacturer. They said, okay, and now you're going to try and engrave something.
And they give you these wooden children's sets that are 1,000 times magnified.
Now you're going to dismantle this basic movement. Well, that I can do now, but the whole, I tried to guillotine at Breguet. That was just, I don't know what it was. It was I've tried engraving at my God, it's
not easy.
Yeah,
they make it look easy, but it's not.
Yeah,
I like the disassembly. The disassembly, I did that with the Girard Perregaux. We took apart, and it was definitely not
a tourbillon with 3 golden bridges.
It was a very basic. It was just the time only caliber, whose name escapes me. But it was a very quick, just taking off a couple plates, and even that you go, wow, yeah, with the loop and trying to look and be steady and not lose a screw. It's a challenge.
And
sure.
if you can't visit a manufacturer, then maybe book yourself a workshop at a local dealer. I'm quite sure they do that. Or otherwise, go to the FHH platform and you can get an online course. Yeah. I think just educate yourself.
It's good to get hands-on and also not just seeing and visiting the manufacturers, but also giving it a go yourself. I think it's a good thing. Cool. I think we can maybe wrap it up there. So let's get to our
comment.
We have a comment. Yes. It's from Jerry Warren, and it's about I believe it's referring to our episode on the best chronographs of 2025. And he said, "I received my Tokyo Lion Tentograph last week."
Oh wow!
So congratulations, Jerry.
Wow, what an impressive watch!
That's awesome. I've been enjoying it very much. You can imagine. He says, also note the fun paw-style pushers. And it's true, the pushers are also sort of lion paw shaped.
Yeah. And
what a cool watch.
But what do you feed that watch?
I don't know. I think it eats zebras.
Yeah, zebras.
Call it what you will.
Yeah, see, is it zebra or zebra?
I don't know, but I hope Jerry accounted for the zebra budget. Perfect. Well, that's it. Thanks so much, guys. And let us know your thoughts. Have you ever visited a manufacturer, or would you like to? Would you be curious to? And if so, we would recommend, like we said, to look into it. And of course, for now, tune in next week for another episode of Fratello Talks. See you then.